Africa's aviation story right now is really about one big tension: how to keep flying when costs keep rising, especially fuel and operations that hit both airlines and passengers. From there, the conversation opens up into the bigger picture, the push for a truly connected African airspace on the SATM, a single African air transport market, the everyday frustrations travelers still face, and the bigger question of what needs to change for African aviation to actually work as one system instead of many disconnected parts. So with that in mind, I put a few quick and slightly playful questions to the Secretary General of the African Civil Aviation Commission, Her Excellency Adefunke Adeyemi, from what's holding Africa back to what a superpower African airline would look like, and even what plot twists best describes African aviation this year, is what she had to say.
People travel for a reason, and the superpower of aviation and the African airlines is that it helps to transform people's lives. This is an opportunity for Africa, through its own internal integration, to make its own change and to change its own fortunes and dynamic. Africa should be seizing the opportunity and providing much needed energy sources and supply to the rest of the world. We're already seeing that happening with the Dangote refinery starting now to export to many of these nations, but also to provide supply to African countries. So the opportunity should be seized rather than us looking and sitting back and waiting to continue to be hit by the impact. Is for us to take the opportunity and make a transformation. Since 1988, but since that time, the journey towards a single African air transport market has really been checkered and challenged primarily by indecision, protectionism, and just lack of following through on these decisions. And the final point is the issue of affordability of air transport and cost. Aviation is a very high cost industry because of just the nature of the industry. Once you buy a plane, there are attendant costs that come with that. But it doesn't need to be as expensive as it is. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we're seeing is unrelated costs being added onto aviation in order to support national budgets. And this is one of those issues that if you understand that aviation is strategic, then, and also it's a volume-based business, the more people can fly, the more people can come into economies and countries, the more revenue is generated for those countries and for those regions. Aviation is tried and tested and proven. It's worked all over the world, and it needs to work for Africa too.